Community Foundation started in 2008 with the idea of Jim McCarville, I think, who reached out to Noel Stenzer, and they are charter members. Jim is here tonight with his wife, Karen, and Noel is here, and she's a tireless worker for the foundation. And that's how I got this job. My personal experience prior to serving on the board was to hear about the good work that the foundation was doing and what they were trying to accomplish. And that was to create an endowed fund that would give back the interest to the Chisago Lakes area community. And that is defined by our entire school district. So the 5 small towns and the townships that encompass the Chisago Lakes area school district. And somehow, I became a believer that endowed funds that would go on into perpetuity made a lot of sense. I'm also a person who believes in boots on the ground giving when that's necessary, but when you make a contribution, and there will not be an ask tonight, I promise you that, but when you do make a contribution to the foundation, that goes into an endowed fund that just goes on. And you know, I heard this week, you can't really take anything with you when you die except what you gave away. And you know, you can give to your kids, we could give to our churches, we have certain obligations that, you know, charities that are important to us, but I feel that the Chisago Lakes area community has been really good to our family for generations, actually, and to our children, and you know, I'm a proud donor of to the foundation. I would like to now ask all of the present and past board members to just do a quick stand so you can see who does some of the work for the foundation. You don't have to be anybody special to serve on our foundation, and I'm proof of that. We do have a lot of fun, I think. We meet 9 times a year, the 3rd Friday of the month, and you are encouraged to join committees, and those committees generally meet once a month as well. So we thought it would be important tonight that if you guys could hear from a donor, somebody who had given. We had a campaign that maybe started 5 or 6 years ago called Drive for 5, and Joe and Thimm were donors to that campaign, and Joe has agreed to talk to me. So
this stage here in the hills, from Taylor's Falls all the way to Chisago City and everything in between. And that's the cool part about this, you know, donating and being a part of this organization. We had a program that came about partly because of donations that we received through the Chisago Lakes Area Community Foundation that they gave to organizations that then gave money to our school, Taylor's Falls, and later on it started spreading across into, I know the primary had it, and also Lakeside. And Laura remembers this in the backpack program. And we had kids who, I could choke up about stuff like that. I shouldn't, because I'm removed from it for a few years, but we had kids that didn't have enough food, okay, at the school. And on weekends, what would happen is that we had these volunteers that would come, and people donated the food through the foundation money that came from them. And we would pack these backpacks full of food for their, I think there were like 2 or 3 meals, 2 or 3 lunches, and 2 or 3 snacks. We had 35 kids at TF. Every weekend they got that, starting in the fall, all the way through the spring. It was a cool thing. I think they still do it, but it worked so well that they expanded it to Lakeside and also the primary school. But that was something that those kids look forward to. And we didn't do it, we walked into the room and said, here's your food. No, they would come down to the cafeteria and we put it in a regular backpack So they couldn't tell if it was their school backpack or somebody else's. And then they would bring the backpack on Monday and just drop it off in the cafeteria and go on about their day. But it was the key to help them. So continue supporting this foundation because it hits at every level, from the little people to people like me who are getting older. So again, thank you for this time. Thank you for letting me speak, and enjoy the rest of the evening.
So next we are going to hear from Andrea Jorgensen. She is with the St. Croix Valley Foundation, and she is going to talk with us about plan giving.
I just am recently new to the foundation, started in this past January. A little bit about the St. Croix Valley Foundation. So the St. Croix Valley Foundation was founded in 1995. And it was a grassroots effort by just a few regional leaders who saw the need to keep the dollars in the valley. So they got together and, pooled their resources and started the foundation. And here we are 27 years later, which is just amazing. And I just want to share that we've been gifted over these 27 years over $100 million in assets, which allows us, this is the really incredible part, since 1995 we've gifted out over $40 million that have stayed in our region to support our nonprofit organizations and the awesome initiatives that we have going. I think that's incredible. So just in 2021, we were able to gift out over $5 million to the region, which is great. Now we do that in partnership with our affiliate organizations. We do have 10 affiliate community foundations who we partner with to help keep those dollars. They're the experts, they know their communities, and we want to keep the dollars working in their communities. So we partner with them, we help manage and invest those funds. So that they have the freedom to not worry about the investing, but certainly take care of the communities that they love. So we try to support them as they need. Our goal is to really ensure the vitality of the River Valley communities. The mission of the St. Croix Valley Foundation is to enhance the River Valley and to continue to support the mission of the organizations that make this a special place to live.
Now we come to the fun part. So this year we decided to do something different. Some of the affiliates do a big idea or a great idea grant where they take a larger portion of their spendable income and put it towards a big idea. And we decided that we would do that this year. That winner will be announced at the end of the program. We were fortunate enough to have funds left over that we could give other grants in this cycle. So the first person that I was aware of is Selah Brooks Powell. She is at the middle school and her grant is related to the music library update. Correct? Yeah, if you don't mind.
A quick thank you to everyone who made this event possible, for inviting me, for including our middle school music program in your giving this year. I am a first-year teacher. I am new to the area. I am from Minneapolis, and when I heard about the opportunity to get this job and I heard about this community, I honestly was not aware. My grandparents loved this place. They are both very Norwegian and loved it here. And I heard about it. I'd heard about how wonderful it was my whole life, and I'd never been here. And my husband and I came in for the interview and just surveyed the area, and we were just awestruck. We moved up right away. I got the job before I graduated, and we were here living by June. And we just spent the whole summer enjoying this place, getting to know as many of you as we could. And now I know all of your children, nieces, nephews, grandchildren at the middle school, all 385 of them with me, and they're just incredible. I could not be more fortunate. And in the wake of COVID, I think our students have a lot of not only catching up to do, but I think some healing to do, some readjusting, right? And right now, as it stands with our budget, because let's see, we've got a tune the piano, and a couple times a year. We wait till the heat comes on to make it last a little longer. And we've got to bus the kids over for the concert at the high school. When I do all of that math, I have about $3.50 per kid for the year. So, with the support from CLACF, I am happy to announce that I'm going to be able to at least purchase one new piece per group, per grade level, for this upcoming spring concert, so you'll be able to hear it right away. When we have our concert in May, you'll be able to see the direct impact on your giving this year. I just want to thank everyone again. I am terrible at speeches. I talk to kids all day. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. We have been doing tireless research. I've been talking to my professional learning community. Jackie Undum at the high school has been helping me try to find these just perfect arrangements for our kids. Things that are going to help them grow, things that are going to be accessible to them after a few years online and not really singing with each other and still a little uncomfortable with the whole idea of using my voice in a room with other kids. So, thank you so much for your support. 1, 2, 3. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jack. Happy birthday to you. Thank you.
Selah told me when she came today, we hadn't met each other, but she was a face I knew I wouldn't know, so I took a guess, and she said, I brought my husband because I don't like parties. I'm not good at parties, and I said, that's why I brought my husband. We both are like groups of 6 people. So the next school grant was given to Pat Collins.
First of all, thank you for your generosity in getting us money. In schools, we don't have a ton of that, but we use every bit that we can in a good way, and we leverage it to do even more. We asked for money to grow some raised bed gardens along the bike path, and that's what we're going to do. And I think the most important part is just getting a bunch of kids out of seats and into nature and having them learn how to grow things. And so we'll start with seeds that we collect, and then we grow those seeds inside. And the part that I always think is kind of amazing is you watch kids plant stuff. They start rubbing their hands back and forth across the sun, and they're like, that feels really good. And they plant stuff, and then they're surprised when it grows. You know, last year we grew black trim tomatoes, and then we sent a tomato plant home with each kid for Mother's Day. And I said, your homework assignment this summer is to send me a picture of your tomato plant. And then it became, you know, I talked to my mom and my grandma, we're going to grow a garden. That's all. That's cool stuff, right? But, you know, we plant stuff for pollinators. And, you know, if you come by the gardens, they look fantastic, you know. And you get these kids up there that just work so hard, and they just get filthy dirty. But I think it's wonderful. And the custodians really don't like me very well. For obvious reasons, right? But I think it's so important for kids to learn how to do those things, that you don't have to have 80 acres or whatever to make a difference in the world. And so I think what's important is we start out with pollinators, and then we start thinking, you know, why not include that in people, so we can grow tomato plants and whatever we want to grow there, so that people walking by can stop and grab a tomato or grab a cucumber or whatever it is the kids decide to grow. And the other part is, you know, we end up having conversations. And you start leading, and all of a sudden Judy stops on a bike and starts asking me about what are you guys doing here. It's like, oh, doing this, and pretty soon you connect with Judy in the Rotary, and all of a sudden it just keeps going. And I think it's just really cool stuff. So we want to feed all creatures, great and small, and we want to build a place that bike path really just becomes a metaphor for connecting communities and connecting people and connecting us back maybe to the land a little bit more than we ever were. So, and I think the other part is it's important to teach kids those skills. And it's not real difficult. And it can be done really cheap. And yet you can attain, beautiful things. I think once they fall in love with the land and they fall in love with being able to do that, I think it really impacts mental health in a great way too. And that's more of an issue than we probably realize right now. But every time they do that, they say, wow, this feels really good. That's pretty true. So that's what we're going to try to do. I think it should go pretty well. We'll move 10 yards of dirt with buckets. And everybody says we can't, we do it every year. I don't know what their shoes look like when they get home, but whatever. So we kind of good things. So yeah, that's what we're going to try to do. And it'll be great fun doing it. And hopefully there'll be some lifelong lessons too. So, and make our community a better place. And the world a better place to live too. So any questions, comments? Right in the middle school.
In the front, the back?
Right in the front, right in the bike path.
Oh, okay.
And so last year we built a garden, probably goes from here to Kathy or probably further. We're just going to kind of keep extending it down the line there.
Nice.
And I think it's really important for kids, to use a drill. And usually it's okay, girls go there, boys get over here, because right away we can just take those away from the girls. Now girls, you work with the drills, and boys, you can use the buckets. And then eventually, they all get to do a little bit of everything. So you should be able to see it as you go by. And I have kids that do artwork during advisement and stuff too, whether it's about nature or love or beauty. But this one will be, the artwork here will be a little bit about, hey, these gardens were designed by a bunch of kids to make the world a better place. And I think that's what it should be about. So, thank you.
Lastly, the third grant goes to Dan McGonigle in Community Ed, and it's related to esports, I think. Correct, Dan? And Dan is our new Community Ed Director.
So, emphasis on the word new, I have to follow this performance, so the new guy, and you're new too, but that's a lot of pressure. And so join with me, everybody. So esports is a electronic gaming competition that is kind of new to high schools. I did it at my former location in International Falls, and really seeing people like Joe or some of the educators that are in this room, the passion that they have. What esports provides is an opportunity for students who might not get to be the best at football, baseball, basketball, some of the sports that you see students having that opportunity to have that teamwork and camaraderie and all the things that come with being a part of a team. So if any of I have kids who are teenagers, and if any of you know, you never see them, they're always on their video games. So that gives them an opportunity to do that in a competitive manner, and then they get some of that teamwork, some of those team skill building things, some of the competition pieces, a lot of those kind of things. And this grant is really going to help. I started the program here. Our principal at the high school, Tammy Yackley, has some experience with this in Cedar Mountain School District. And International Falls, where I was, used to compete against Cedar Mountain because I used to own a newspaper in Morgan, Minnesota, which is where Cedar Mountain is, so I already knew their team and their people. So it just kind of, it was a nice reunion, so to speak, and then we brought it to our students, and we had about 50 students that were interested, and I think about 30 of them ended up signing up. And there's a spring and a fall season. So this is going to help. An immediate need is going to be that we have some kids who don't have devices or don't have the ability to afford some of the gaming pieces. and the money will go directly to support those students. So thank you to you all who helped make this possible for our students.
So the first grant is going to the Franconia Sculpture Park. And Joe Sullivan is going to tell you what their project is. And they are so good to us, and we love the work that they do out here. And they are trying to bring a power station to the community, so for electric cars.
Small grant, but it is. Okay.
Thank you. Hi everyone. My name is Joanne Sullivan. Everyone calls me Joe. I'm the Director of Operations here at Franconia Sculpture Park. And thank you all for being here. It's lovely to host you. It's great to see you all this evening. Sorry it wasn't very warm. I can't blame you for that. Yeah, the project's very exciting. We're thinking in April we're going to have a row of electric recharge stations for people's electric cars. And it's another great reason to stop here and discover. You know, every day we have people that just drive in. I've been driving by for 15 years, and every time I do, I keep saying, oh, I should actually stop and walk around there. And, you know, every day this year, people have been saying that. It's not people from like 2 hours away or an hour, it's like people from like 15, 20 minutes away. They're finally like slowing down a little bit, pulling in, walking around, and they're always like, I can't believe I haven't been coming here every weekend for the last 15 years. So, you know, we're hoping recharge stations is like the first step in infrastructure. Will be one of like 3 places in the area where people can use them. It's used for people to stop, slow down, walk around, and just enjoy how beautiful the flora and fauna and artwork is here. So hopefully, I think it's going to be pretty fast in April, yeah. So thank you.
Hold the check. Oh, sorry. Yeah. All right. Hey, there we go. Thank you.
The next grant that we are able to give is in the amount of $4,000. And we are giving that to the Age Well Coalition and the marvelous work they do and have done and will continue to do. So if we could get the members of the Age Well Coalition to come up, Russell, Lonnie, and Lee. Why don't you all come, and then Rosa can talk a little bit. The Wells maybe their numbers change.
Yeah, we're a low budget organization.
Hi, thank you everybody. My name is Rosa. I am with the Chisago Age Well Coalition, and I am the board chair. And I am really short, so I hope everybody can hear me. And I have a confession to make. I am not from Minnesota originally, and y'all will be able to tell this during the speech because I'm going to say y'all a lot, and I do that when I'm really nervous. So, I do have to say that I've got my lovely ladies here, Emily and Lonnie. They are a big part of our coalition. And if you don't know, Chisago Age Well Coalition is just it's a group of service providers in the Chisago County area. We came together about, we started our talks in about 2016 and 2018 we began our work. And then in 2020 we became a 501c3. And we are on our own out there trying to do some work, just bringing services that support older adults and their caregivers together. We realize that there's a lot of services available for folks, but we were all siloed. So we wanted to go from silos to circles, and that's what we've done. And so with this grant, we are hoping to start doing more outreach. 2020, like everybody else, it kind of hit us with trying to get out there and get our name out there and our word out there. But we're going to do more outreach, and we're going to start a senior connection center, hopefully with a manned volunteer in our physical office space, and be able to provide, answer questions, provide resources, and get the word out there that we are here, and be able to provide all of our seniors and our caregivers for them these resources that will benefit them. Ladies?
Every time I say that I'm a part of the Age Well Coalition, people go, what's that? And when we say we're going to do more outreach, you're all thinking, well, what kind of stuff do you do? So I want to give you a list of some of the things that we do.
It was in my notes.
So when we started in 2016 as this one of 3 communities in the state of Minnesota by this organization that was doing this Silos to Circles, and we got picked as one of the communities to do this. Out of the 3 communities, we're the only one that has become self-sufficient and got their 401c3 or 501c3 to be their own organization. So we have taken this from 2016 from somebody else's seed and have become our own organization in the Chisago Lakes community. One of the very first things we did was start something called Dine and Discover, and it is our way of bringing seniors into a place to learn about issues that they're concerned about. And we would provide some food and a speaker, and they would all come and listen. And it was a great turnout until we had somebody from Senior Linkage Line do Medicare 101. And we did this 3 presentations in one day at 3 separate different locations so that we could get people from all over the county. And in our Chisago Lakes location, we did it at the library, we had over 70-some people sign up for that location, which was like the most we could have in the library. And then we had a waiting list of 100 and some people. So we had to offer it 2 more times in Chisago Lakes. And that's how many people were desperate to hear what they needed to know just about Medicare. And we have all kinds of other topics that we have covered. We had a great turnout at our most recent presentation. Brian from the Chisago County Veterans Office came and spoke about veterans. We did it in 2 separate locations, and a lot of people came to our Lindstrom location because they are desperate to hear what they need to know about being a senior veteran in Chisago County. One of the other things that we're doing, we are now doing our 3rd annual Chisago Age Well Expo, which is in October, or next week.
It's a week from tomorrow. And there's little brochures on the end of your tables.
So, our very first expo was 2019. We had no idea what to expect. We were hoping, 30 or 40 vendors and maybe 100 people would show up. We ended up with 62 vendors and 300 people walked in the door. And that was our first time. The second year COVID hit. So, last year we had our 2nd annual expo, thinking we would really be hurting for a turnout. We still had 47 vendors and 200 attendees. So this is something people want, even in a time when they couldn't even get out. This year, next Friday, we'll find out how many people walk in the door, but I already have 63 vendors signed up. So, we are reaching the community. We are helping people get the information they need because there's so many opportunities and so much information out there, they have no idea how to get it. We're putting it all in one place for them so that we can partner with all of these services and help our seniors get the information in one place. Is that good?
The next grant is in the amount of $6,000, and it is being awarded to the Good Neighbors. Is that how you guys?
Chisago Lakes Good Neighbors Club.
Chisago Lakes Good Neighbors, and they have written a grant for a program called Adopt a Grandparent.
Hi, thank you. I think we're both going to speak. My name is Chris Schneider. I'm the president of the Chisago Lakes Good Neighbors Club. First off, it's really an honor to be here. This is really a great thing that's is happening. The energy in this room and the same similar ideas is awesome. The Chisago Age Well Club is a brand new organization that just started this March. It started out with a small group of friends that would play together, snowmobile, boat, travel together, and back in March, Michelle, our secretary, just in conversation, she said, you know, we have such a great group of people here, why don't we try to do something good with it? And the light bulb went off. So I think a couple weeks later we got together for breakfast on Saturday morning that lasted about 5 hours. And through that breakfast, I don't think anybody was sitting down. Everybody's tossing out ideas and the excitement in there. We left with Post-it notes and notepads filled out with all the different things that we can do. And what was really awesome about that is for me to see that, yes, they're all my friends of mine, but that they have that passion, that they really wanted to truly do some good. So what our organization is about is doing good in our community. You know, all of us do the same thing where you get caught in day-to-day life, and you drive to work, and you go home, and you take care of the kids, and go back and forth, and do the same thing every day. But we don't see, you know, we think everything's so great in our community, but we don't see that there's really a lot of people that do need help in our community. And that's what this is about, is our organization wants to be there to help anybody out from young to old, and they have special programs that do as much as we can, because we have an incredible amount of resources and diversity with our group, with all of our members. So we're trying to take that and do as much good as we can. It's grown like wildfire, so it's kind of hard to contain right now, but it's been great because of the interest with that. But the passion that's in that group is incredible, so we're really excited about it. Now this program, this grant, is truly an incredible thing that really helps with our organization do more of this that we want to do. So we're really excited about that, so thank you so much. With that, I'm going to turn over to Marlys Dunne. She's our treasurer, and she was a visionary behind this, so she can explain everything about it. Marlys?
Thank you. So in this community, we have about 56,000 residents, and we know that the population of 64 plus is one of the fastest growing populations in the community. It's going to continue over the next several years. We have fabulous facilities in our community that provide a lot of services, independent living, assisted living, nursing homes, but unfortunately, they can't all be there. They're expensive, and so many seniors want to stay in their home as long as they possibly can. The older we get, the harder it is to get around, and many of us know the transportation in Chisago Lakes is very limited, especially on those cold AC days, and seniors don't want to be driving themselves. So here we have seniors living alone, relying on family and neighbors and friends, and unfortunately not everybody has somebody that can be there frequently to help them. Social isolation is huge in our community, and it is so important for mental and physical health. And we have experienced this firsthand in our club as we've been out in the community doing volunteer events where we've actually been out helping seniors. And as we work with these seniors and maybe clean up a yard, put a dock in, or always help them around the house, the most valuable thing they get from us is our contact, the interaction, someone to talk to. And so from that idea, from that experience, we have come to the conclusion that in this community, and I love this one, we adopt highways, we adopt parks, we adopt drains, let's adopt a grandparent. Let's find those lonely, isolated seniors out there and partner them with our amazing volunteers. We have volunteers. The most incredible part of our program is that we are fast and quick and easy to mobilize. And so by partnering our volunteers who want to give back to the community, have a little pocket of time so they can stop in and say hi to someone, maybe lend a hand, have a cup of coffee, maybe some lunch, get that social interaction, and God only knows where it's going to go with the ideas and the opportunities that our volunteers can do. We're seniors, living alone in the community. So thank you.
So I'd like to ask the board to come up. So when we did the big idea, we took guidance on how to do it from the St. Croix Valley Foundation, and we followed a rubric based on probably 10 different criteria, and we all individually scored them. There was a front runner, and it was very clear, you know, from the beginning. And we are so happy and grateful to give the $10,000 big idea to Project Wild Rooted, Laura Greene and Michelle Wille, and they are sponsored by the Center City Fire Department Auxiliary that will oversee their grant money. So Project Wild Rooted is a for-profit company, but you could be an individual or a company and be sponsored by a nonprofit, so I want that to be known. So anyway, Laura, Michelle, come on up.
But I first want to say how excited we are to be here, and we want to thank you so much for this opportunity. But my name is Laura Greene, this is Michelle Wille, and together we co-founded Project Wild Rooted, which is a program that provides hands-on experiential learning for children and also skill-based learning as well. So a little bit about us. Kind of fun fact that Michelle and I both are natives to this community. We are homegrown, born and raised right here in this area. And then to top it off, we married two men who are homegrown as well. So I think that's a pretty awesome fact. And I think that says a lot about this community as well. And we are very proud to be a part of that. And just because I want all of you to know this, we are very proud of our husbands. If it wasn't for them, Project Wild Rooted would not be what it is today. So they are kind of the silent partners in all of this, but they are a huge part of what we do. So, but it is very true that we are very dedicated to this community and very dedicated to helping raise kids rooted. So Michelle and I both have a public teaching experience, and together we have almost 35 years of teaching. We started Project Wild Rooted just over a year and a half ago, and the goal was to get kids excited about learning. We wanted to get kids outside, and a lot of what Pat Collins said there, they're not seeing a lot of that anymore, and we wanted kids to just develop a love for learning and learning new skills they might not be learning at home or learning in the public school system. And after our first summer, it was very clear that we had started something pretty special. We had a lot of family support in this community who were dedicated to also raising kids rooted as well. And so Project Wild Rooted ended up not just being a summer program, it ended up being a full-time year-round program where we not only were teaching school-age children 6 to 12 years old, but also grew what we call our Little Wild Roots program, which serves children 3 to 5 years old. And that became so needed that we even hired Jackie Doepke to help us with that, and we are very proud to have her on board with all of her experience with early childhood. We also then grew even further than that, and were approached by the homeschool community saying, we would love for you to serve our families as well. And so with a lot of faith and a lot of grit, we developed a connection to the homeschool community, and we serve homeschool students in enriching them in science, math, and hands-on learning. And literacy is naturally embedded as well. And then it was just last May that public schools approached us. Well, do you offer field trips? And we thought, well, that's what we do. We just grow as needed. And so sure, yeah, we offer field trips. Michelle, how does that look? Well, we'll meet and figure this out. And basically we just asked the teachers, well, what are you looking for? What do you need? And so we developed an amazing field trip. And it's so exciting to see 50 students get off a bus or 100 students get off a bus and be so excited to have wide open spaces where they can get dirty, get in the muck, learn about organisms, go on nature walk, and there's nobody telling them, don't touch, don't get dirty. We're letting kids be kids. And we're very thankful and very proud of that as well. And so with that opportunity with the homeschools, that brings us here with this opportunity of the Big Idea Grant, and Michelle will talk more about that.
So, right, and when we saw this opportunity, we were like, oh my gosh, Laura, look at this. We could actually get more students into and experience nature-based experiential learning through Project Wildwooded and through our field trips with this funding. And so it's been really exciting to learn now that we do have this grant to be able to service those students, and actually through the Chisago Lakes School District, we are now going to be able to offer field trips for all of those students in the elementary and primary school levels. So this grant would assist in creating equity for all children in the community, regardless of their socioeconomic status, to experience these learning opportunities. Specifically, this will provide funding of field trips for the Chisago Lakes District students and children that would otherwise not have the opportunity to attend Project Wildwooded will now have this opportunity because of this grant. The grant will enable us to work with the school district to provide these experiences for these children in our community. And so it's really cool because within the next few years, we will be able to reach approximately 1,200 students through the district just with this grant alone. And it's our mission, like Laura said, to instill a love of learning and a love for the natural world around them. And this grant would be fueling a movement to renew a sense of belonging and confidence and stewardship to our community. So a little bit more too about our field trips. The students in May, they will come and they will, it's called Nature's Alive field trips. And so they come to our campus and they will come and we play some games with them, get them excited, and then we head down to our pond area where they get experience mucking. For some kids, it's the first time they're allowed to take off their socks and their shoes and to get muddy and then explore. And we get to see the little creatures that are in the pond and collect them and then try to identify them. So they get those observation skills and those classification skills. We also get to venture through the woods and use some more tools as we try to track and we try to tell stories of some of the evidence that the animals and the creatures have left for us, and try to figure out who lives there, who could live there, or where did they go, or get to explore the different types of birds that we see and use binoculars to try to find the birds that we hear. And so it's a really cool experience, and like Laura said, it's just is great to be able to see these kids do some hands-on learning outside, exploring, and developing that curiosity and getting to develop their wonder even more. And it's awesome. So, so behalf of myself and Laura and our families and the families that we serve, we want to thank you so much for your generosity with this grant.
Well, that's it.